RAG is dead. I keep seeing this take everywhere. LinkedIn, Twitter, and some random YouTube video. Some guy with 200k followers and a ring light confidently telling you to stop using RAG because I'm quoting here, context windows are just bigger now. Cool, thanks for that. Here is what's wild. That's like saying search engines are dead because hard drives are bigger. These are not the same problem. And if you are making architectural decisions for your company based on that take, we need to talk. Today, I'm going to break down exactly why that narrative is wrong, what RAG actually solves, and how to think about this properly. As an engineer, not as someone farming engagement. Here is the pattern. A new model drops in, like Gemini with 1 million context window, GPT 4.1, Claude with some even more context window. And suddenly, every influencer needs a hot take within 24 hours. The hot take formula is simple. Old thing is dead, new thing is everywhere. It's fast, it's shareable, it gets clicks. What it doesn't do is acknowledge that context size and retrieval architecture are solving completely different problems. One is about how much a model can read at once. The other is about where the knowledge lives, who controls it, and how much it costs to access. Let me show you what I mean. Let's start with the most obvious one that nobody wants to talk about, privacy. Bigger context window means you send more data to the model. Great. Now tell that to a hospital querying internal patient guidelines, or a law firm with confidential case history, or literally any enterprise with a compliance team, GDPR, HIPAA, financial regulations. These don't care that your context window is 200k tokens. They care about where your data goes and who can see it. With RAG, you keep your knowledge base inside your own infra. You retrieve only what's relevant, nothing gets exposed unnecessarily. A larger context window actually makes this worse if you are naive about it. Because now you are tempted to show more sensitive data into an external API call. That's not improvement, that's a liability. Let's talk money now. Because I promise, whatever your feelings about RAG are, the finance team has feelings too. Here's the math. If you are prompting with a full database dump at 200k tokens, every query, that's expensive per call. At scale, every day. Reg retrieval, you are passing some 2000 to 5000 tokens of relevant context. That's it. We are talking potentially 40 times cost difference. With caching and compression on top, even more. This is not a theoretical optimization. Companies running LLM infrastructure at scale are obsessing over this. The influencer saying just use full context has clearly never had to justify an AWS bill to a VP. Now, here is another thing that drives me insane about the RAG is dead crowd. LLMs are static. They were trained on data up to a certain point and then they stopped learning. What does a big context window do for you when a user asks, what did our support tickets look like last week? Or what's the current stock price? Or what did the client say in the meeting this morning? Nothing. It does nothing. RAG plugs your model into live data. Databases, APIs, recent documents, internal threads. It gives your model a window into now, not just a snapshot of the past. That's not a retrieval trick. That's a fundamental architectural requirement for any real product. Let's move to the next point. People keep comparing context windows to knowledge bases like it's an apples to apples thing. It's not. A mid-sized enterprise has millions of PDFs, Confluence pages, emails, internal wikis going back to 10 years, Slack history, product documentation. Even a 10 million context window, which doesn't exist in the production for most people, is a drop in the bucket compared to enterprise knowledge. RAG doesn't just handle overflow, it handles indexing, semantic search, metadata filtering, incremental updates, domain isolation. These are not problems you solve by making a context window bigger. They are problems you solve with architecture. Okay, so to be fair, and I want to be fair here, something is changing. What actually dies with better context models? NavRag. Simple vector search plus prompt stuffing. The just embed everything and hope approach. That was never real engineering anyway. What survives and actually gets more important. Structured retrieval pipelines with query rewriting and re-ranking. Hybrid search combining semantic and query approaches. Privacy first retrieval inside secure infrastructure. Memory systems for agents doing long running tasks. Domain isolated knowledge for regulated industries. RAG is not a product, it's becoming infrastructure. Just like databases didn't die when RAM got cheaper. Nobody is out here saying databases are dead because RAM is bigger now. Okay, the framework I use. Here is how I actually think about when to use RAG versus when to lean on full context. RAG becomes less critical when your knowledge is small and stable. Privacy is not a concern and you are okay with the token cost. Freshness doesn't matter to you. Now, RAG becomes non negotiable when knowledge is large or growing. Data must stay private. Content changes frequently. You care about cost at scale. You need citations and auditability. You are building agents with long term memory. Most real products hit at least three of these second conditions, which means most real products still need RAG. Look, I'm not saying context windows are not impressive. They are, of course. I'm not saying RAG is perfect. It's not. It adds complexity. It can retrieve the wrong things. It needs maintenance. But the people telling you it's dead are optimizing for views, not for the correctness. The engineers actually building production AI systems, they are not debating whether RAG is dead. They are debating which retrieval architecture to use, how to cache efficiently, how to isolate domains, how to handle memory at scale. That's the conversation that matters. If you want more videos where I actually dig into the engineering, not the hype, subscribe and drop in the comments what's worst X is dead take you have seen recently.